What's going on, guys? So I got to talk about AMD. So it seems like everyone in the FinTwit world is talking about the next big trade on FinTwit. I'm seeing so many people get into these 2-3 week out expiration calls on AMD. And then I've got some of the other side of the FinTwit world saying that no, that this stock is going lower, and there could actually be some room to the downside. So I want to clear up some things from a technical analysis standpoint. I want to show you guys what you should be doing and what you should not be doing. The first thing that I do want to tell you guys is that if you are trying to front load this trade, meaning you are trying to time what this trade is going to do before you actually get any sort of proof, price action, or confirmation, you very well could be shooting yourself in the foot. Now, what that exactly means is that if you think that AMD is going higher, your thesis, your guess would not be wrong. But if you are going to get hurt. Now, if you think that AMD is going to, let's say, the low 90s, maybe it has a potential to touch $80, and you start front loading those put options now, you could potentially be hurt. So here's what I kind of want to show you guys, what everyone is kind of talking about here. So if we just kind of go back to this price action that we seen last year in September, we can see, and what I'm looking at here to kind of get a good picture is the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame, each individual candle is going to represent 1 week's worth of trading. So if we go back here to the month of September 2021, we can see that we touched this low of around $100 area. And I'm just, for the sake of the video, I'm just because I don't want to get into $175, $99, $101. I'm just going to say $100 floor. The $100 floor was touched once, it was touched twice, it was touched 3 times before AMD in October started this ramp up. And we went on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 week ramp up. So what that's telling you is we had a 2-month ramp up here on AMD. The breakout was clearing out this channel, and that was coming out of this 3-4 weeks worth of consolidation, and that price was an average price of around $108. Once AMD really broke out of that $108, it ramped up to $164. So we know that we started off this year in 2022 with a little bit of a decline, a little bit of a slow pullback. We pulled back into the 50-day moving average in January. We tested it also at the end of January. We tested it again once in February. We broke below it very briefly for 1 week in the early March, and then we kind of reclaimed that, and we kind of started to bounce off, and then we got rejected at the upper channel in the weekly 20 SMA. So if you are looking to swing stocks long, and your stock is underneath the weekly 20-day moving average, which is the 20 SMA on the weekly time frame, you should not be swinging. I will repeat that again. You should not be swinging any stock that is below its weekly 20 SMA. With that being said, we are now back down here again in April, testing this floor of $100. So if I just kind of put a little bit of a price level here, just so we can get some clarity on what level we're exactly looking at. We could see even further back in June and July, it acted as a little bit of resistance. We quickly broke above it, and then we created this 1-2 month floor here, really turned this prior resistance into a new support for that kind of springboard into that all-time high of 164.46 before back testing. Okay, so now we've back tested this old support. So with that being said, here's the 2 ways that this trade can go. And what we need to do is we need some sort of confirmation. If and when AMD starts to close below $100, does that mean that the stock is going back to 80? Absolutely not. It can completely overshoot the $100 area and trade down to the low 90s before finding a little bit of a base and springboarding back higher. But what we're going to want to do if you want to take part in a short-term trade is we're going to need to look at the daily time frame, and I'm going to leave that price level on the screen. So if we kind of just look at this floor here from January, from February, and early March, mid-March, and then now in April, if we kind of look at this floor, if this $99 $100 floor is breached, we can potentially take part in a short-term trade for a potential washout into the low 90s, even targeting a price target of somewhere in the high 80s. Now, where would you stop out of this position? Where would you need to close this position if you do take part in a trade to the short side? If we quickly drop below $100 and let's say we start testing 95, 96, and then 2 or 3 days later, we reclaim $100, you're going to need to get out of that trade and break even on the trade. Doesn't matter if you were up a little bit of money on that short position and it reversed on you. There's no sense in getting green on the position, meaning, shorting below $100, making money on the trade, having it come back against you, close over $100, and now hoping that it comes back down. You're better off just cutting the trade and looking for another trade opportunity, because that next trade opportunity could be to the long side, and that could be the little bit of a springboard. Now, this coming week, if we do quickly breach below the $100 area, but then the bulls intraday fight back and they close over $100, before we want to start buying calls on this for anticipating that we're going to make a move higher, which can be completely possible, what we're going to need to do is at least come down and test this $100 floor. Even if we do break below it, we're going to need to get a close back over 100, and then we're going to need a following candle or maybe even 2 candles to kind of confirm that price action and start taking out prior day's highs going to the long side. That might be your opportunity where you're going to want to buy calls, or where you're going to want to get long on AMD for the move back up to the upside. Now, when would you exit this trade? It's very, very simple. If we lose the $100 floor on a daily candle close, you exit the position. Either A, break even, or take a cup of coffee loss on the trade and look for the next setup. Now, if we do break below, quickly reclaim it, and we start taking out a prior day high, you can enter a swing trade on AMD, and as long as we hold the $100 floor, you just hold a trade and you just continue to ride this trade. Will you have red days mixed in there? Of course. Will you have choppy days mixed in there? Of course. Will you have big green days mixed in there? Of course. As long as we hold $100, you stay long in the stock. But here's why you can't just jump in now. There's so many people buying calls on Friday for expirations that expire in a week, 2 weeks. Now, if you did jump in early and you bought calls, what happens if we do get 1-2 days flushing below this level? It's going to stop you out of your position. Even you're going to go into a drawdown on your position, and you might get nervous. The market might take a little bit of a breather, even more so than we did this week, and then you stop out. Loan to behold, 2 weeks later, we're trading back up here in the $120 $125 area. You kind of get where I'm going with this. So we don't want to anticipate the trade. We want the candlesticks to show us exactly what the trade is going to do for us first. If we lose the $100 area, we can most definitely take part in a short trade. Our stop loss would be the $100 area. If this breaks below the $100 area or test the $100 area and bounces off, we're going to need 1 or 2 candles closing over the previous day's high. We would enter this trade. We would swing it as long as we are trading over the $99 $100 area. Use this area as your stop. This is going to be a huge level. It's going to be a huge trade, either to the downside or to the upside. You want to make sure you take part in it, but you want to make sure you're on the right part of this trade. I hope this video helps. Guys, do me a favor, subscribe to my YouTube channel, throw me a thumbs up. Also join my Discord. That link is down in the description box below, and I will see you guys all in the next trading recap.